Good to see you again. I hope you're looking after yourself. Here's another latest article from Clive. This is one of the favourites, and it's called Job Ploughing. And it just plays with an agricultural concept of some of the potential of what it was like back in Job's day. So let's have a little fun with Job ploughing, exploring the land holdings of Job and his potential expansive empire. His first entry of the size of his empire is noted in Job 1, 1-3. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all men in the east. From my understanding, camels were like line-haul trucking. This was used for import, export, and trade. A yoke of oxen were in today's terms plainly a good old tractor. And this is where we want to focus our attention on today. Job had in his shed 500 tractors to do his farm work. Now Wikipedia and Oxgang tells us that a yoke of oxen can plough about 30 acres per season. So 500 will plough 15,000 acres, or some 60 square kilometres. Now, taking that he is a good cropper, he actually used all the tractors, or the yoke of oxen, and that got a normal yield, so he sowed about 600 tonne of seed and harvested about 5 tonne per acre, or about 75,000 tonne of wheat. Now, if he sold the whole lot at a medium today's price, his bank balance would jump up by some meagre, about $26 million. Just give or take a few million for good or so harvest. So prices rise and fall. Now, this is his starting point. So now we move to his latter days, which are even more bountiful. Let's have some fun with that. Job 42, 12 and 13. So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning, for he had 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, and 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 she-asses. He also had 7 sons and 3 daughters. From this we find that Job has doubled his empire. And now if we play our fun and guesswork, this is what we're going to get. Now 1,000 yoke of oxen will plough some 30,000 acres per season, or some 120 square kilometres, and in an average season his bank balance jumps a meagre $52 million. We have not added to his income what the camel trains brought in, or what the she-asses were doing, or what the wool clip got from his sheep, or what he garnered from stock sales of excess animals from his breeding system. We actually have a huge corporation sketched out here before us. From this we can guess that the whole economy of the area was very much reliant on Job being productive. So when Job lost all his wealth in a single moment, there were many, many households and connected industries shut down. The flour mill had no grain. The weavers had no yarn. There was no wool for the spinners. The shearers, the shepherds, the stockmen, and the connected industries came to a screeching halt. The import-export trade stopped, as there was no cash to buy, no products for them to move to another location. This is an absolute total disaster, and all overnight the area's whole economy disappeared. Question: if you and I were Job and had that considerable income at our disposal each year, would we be an outstanding Christian and a community spirit as Job? Pretty much everybody worked directly or indirectly for Job. Far-flung cities and economies were all directly connected back to Job for wool, meat, grain, herbs, spices, silk, jewels, gold, silver, and so much more that the camels came back and forth on those camels from their hauling products to and from the markets by Job's camel trains. God has entrusted each one of us with his precious treasures, the gospel. Are we feeding the spiritually starved about us with the bread of life or the water of salvation, or do we even feed ourselves? Are we looking after the assets he has entrusted us, maintaining them, multiplying them? What about God's funds? Are we supporting the gospel spread, or just hoarding it up for moths and rust? Jesus is coming back very soon to shut down this world system and stall his empire. Have you warned your friends and neighbours to give them opportunity to live in heaven? Or will they look at you and chastise you with, "You knew it all along. Why have you not warned us and shared the gospel with us that we could be saved?" If we neglect these opportunities, the time will come when there will be spoken to us by those who we have not warned, words of reproach and bitterness. You knew these terrible judgments were coming. We were associated together, but you did not tell us. You did not warn us that we might escape. And may God help us when we may not have upon our garments, because of neglect, the blood of souls. We have work to do in our world, a work similar to that which Christ performed. This spiritual work must precede every other interest in our life. That which is temporal must never be made secondary to the requirements of God. It will not profit us to put ourselves forward in this world at the expense of our Christianity. From RH 1907. Thank you very much for being here. Remember to walk softly, deal kindly, and trust God. And if you could press the like, the subscribe, and the bell icon, you'll get notification of the next article. And until then, please stay safe.